As a domestic violence survivor, Kara's chosen a platform was help to create awareness around domestic violence, making it her mission to do anything she could to educate survivors and put them on the road to recovery for good. Kara, we'd like to thank you for your courage. We applaud you for your commitment to bringing awareness to domestic violence, to helping victims become survivors and not just victims. I would like to have you guys all join me in congratulating Miss America 2015, Miss Kara Kazantsev.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming this evening. I just have to point out that last year I was at this gala as a local title holder as Miss New York City, and I sat in the back, and I helped work the social media booth outside. And this year, I'm here as Miss America, and I'm being honored, and this is the most incredible thing. So what a difference a year can make, right? So before I start, I just want to say a huge thank you to Safe Horizon. They're not only a partner, but they've become my family. Ariel Zwang, the CEO, Kate, Maria, Eddie, Lauren, all of the staff members that I've had the pleasure of meeting on all my visits, you really have become my loved ones, and I don't know what I would do without you, and I look forward to a long, long partnership and long friendship, so I'm so thankful for all of you. I just want to tell you guys a little bit about my story. I made the decision to move to New York City when I was 18 years old. I'm originally from California. And I made that trip by myself. I got to Hofstra University. I didn't have any friends or family. And I met a guy that, to me, I thought we were going to ride off into the sunset and it was a happy ending. But unfortunately, that was not the case. The relationship very quickly became abusive because I was so dependent on him, because I was alone in a new place. And my story is not unique. This is something that happens every day, all the time, to millions of young men and women. And it started very, very subtly, but I could not see past any sort of signs because I was so dependent on this person. And later I realized I wasn't dependent, I had been isolated. I had been kept from making friends. I had been kept from normal activities that an 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old should be doing in college. And that abuse continued to escalate and continued to escalate and continued to escalate until 2 years went by, and I finally was forced to see through some very traumatic violence that this is not a relationship. This is not healthy, and this is not what I want for my life. And it's unfortunate that it took that to get me to see it, but I very thankfully opened up to the few friends that I had. I opened up to my family. I left school. I was able to travel abroad, get away from the situation. But it's really hard when you're trying to leave someone like that. If they don't want to let you go, a lot of times when people ask, why doesn't she just leave? It's very hard when they're being so sweet and you love them so much and you would do anything to have that moment of happiness back. And at the same time, he's sending you very vulgar, awful, threatening messages, and he's being so kind. It messes with your mind. It turns you into someone that is unrecognizable. So every single time someone says, well, why doesn't she just leave? She's stupid. I think to myself, you have no idea the situation that that woman is in. You cannot understand what abuse does to a person and their mindset. So as Miss America, I get to talk about this on a national level and be a part of the national conversation. And that journey started at the very end of that relationship when I decided I needed to do something for myself. For far too long, I thought that I was ugly and stupid and fat and all of these things that I'd been told for a very long time. So I was going to do something like Miss America and really put myself out there. And I won my first local title, Miss Cosmopolitan. I was very proud of it, okay. And I went to I was told you have to pick a platform, right? So for me, it was going to be domestic violence. It was going to be something that I could relate to. But at the time, I didn't understand the gravitas or the power that that choice would have. It went from being a requirement, fulfilling a requirement, to my life and my life calling. And I realized that this would be a huge part of my life forever when I spoke at a women's shelter in Brooklyn, my first ever speaking appearance as a Miss America title holder. And I told them my story, and a woman named Linda came up to me afterwards. I'll never forget this. She took my hand, and she said, "My husband tried to kill me 20 years ago in front of my children, but I can't move on from that for whatever reason, and you've given me hope." Me, a 19-year-old kid, has given this woman hope. And I will never forget the way that that moment made me feel and how important I realized that this work was. So now, fast forward, I'm right here in front of you guys, and we're talking about put the nail in it. Every single one of you has the opportunity to contribute to the conversation. Just in that day, in that video, we spoke to hundreds of New Yorkers that got their nail painted, and they told all their friends about it. So all of you have the opportunity to do the same thing. The impact that you are able to achieve is groundbreaking because you can tell your friends and they'll tell their friends and the cycle will continue. And all you have to do is paint your nail. So I encourage every single one of you to tweet about it, put it out as much as you can. And together, by having the conversation, we can put the nail in domestic violence for good. Thank you so much.